Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for America's favorite melodrama. Congress is in session. I'm your host, Sir Mortimer Silverton. In tonight's episode, we see the Democratic Party leadership going for therapy.
So, how'd it go last week? Anyone want to share? How about you, Mrs. Pelosi?
I think I'm making progress. I found out that corporate heads fly around in their own jets. I'm holding hearings so the public can see how corporations waste our stimulus funds.
But don't you fly every week to California in a private jet? At the taxpayer's expense?
That's different. I'm important.
What about all that liquor on board? Why should the taxpayers pay for that?
I'm afraid of flying. It makes me thirsty.
And how was your week, Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
I'll bet you're one of those Tea Party Nazis with a swastika tattooed on your butt. So it's none of your business how much I spent.
Debbie, I'm Jewish, just like you. I don't do swastikas. But I do jolly well enjoy afternoon tea with friends.
So you admit you're one of those Republican Tea Party terrorists.
Why are you here if you don't want to control your spending?
Nancy dragged me along for moral support.
So you're not really here to cure your addiction to spending. Is that it?
No. I love to spend money.
Very well, then. I shall charge you for a session anyway.
I don't care. Congress is paying for this. Not me.
How about you, Senator Reid? How did your week go?
I passed a bill renaming a federal building after my pet pig.
And how is Porker?
He still has those earmarks.
Harry, you forgot to mention the $600 million you put in the bill to fund a hummingbird song research center.
But their humming needs some words to go with it. That's why I earmarked $100 million for the cowboy poetry contest.
That could have national health care implications.
That's how I justified the expenditure.
Congress doesn't have a spending problem.
That's right. It's a revenue problem.
But don't you understand that if you raise taxes, you'll spend the increased revenue and then some?
Well, yeah. So what's your point?
Aren't you worried that voters will resent higher taxes?
Not if we don't raise taxes on the middle class.
Too much.
Right.
And we don't kill the golden goose. Unless they make over $200,000 a year.
But you're a millionaire.
I have loopholes. I made them myself. Surely you have offshore accounts yourself, don't you? Never mind. I thought we all did.
I know I do.
But is spending all that money really necessary?
Maybe not, but let's face it everyone, we've lost the war on pork.
That's not a very positive attitude, Senator.
You don't understand. I was being positive.
What difference does it make how much we spend, anyway? It's not our money.
But you could destroy the American economy. Surely, that isn't what you want?
Of course not. We're not communists.
She's right. We're socialists. The American people don't care if we waste their tax dollars. You have to be really dumb not to get re-elected.
I beg your pardon, but didn't one of your colleagues say something about the island of Guam tipping over? He was re-elected.
He's just a fluke.
And the congresswoman who said she's a freed slave? She too was re-elected.
Okay, you win. You can be dumb and get re-elected. The fact is, elections shouldn't matter as much as they do.
Look, even Abraham Lincoln said we're all Keynesians now. The government has to spend to keep the economy going. And he was a hard-hearted Republican.
Lincoln never said that.
Yes, he did. I heard him say it myself.
Don't you understand it's not your money?
Of course it's ours. After all, we printed it. So we decide how much you get to keep.
He has a point, Nancy. It all belongs to the Chinese now.
That's why we have to run deficits. We get to borrow our money back.
But didn't you all promise to cut the deficit? Bring spending under control? Were you lying?
Are you serious? Surely, you're not serious.
Didn't we mention we're politicians?
Sorry I'm late.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm President Barack Obama and I'm a spendaholic.
Would you like to tell everyone why you're here?
I'm sure you all know the story. I just find spending money to be stimulating.
So you want to cure yourself of your addiction?
Hell no. Give up spending? I'd almost rather give up smoking. Let me be perfectly clear. I just talked to Paul Krugman. He said I should spend like an alcoholic on a 3-day bender. And make no mistake. Spending money like there's no tomorrow is good for the economy.
Are you serious? I mean, are you serious?
Well, first of all, it's not spending. It's investing. We need to work on America's infrastructure. We need to hire more teachers and golf instructors. Take more vacations.
But all those people are members of unions that support you. In fact, the only people who benefit are your cronies and campaign donors.
Look. Let me be clear. That's better than spending it on Republicans, right?
Damn straight it is.
Mr. President, this isn't helpful.
Of course it is. I can't stop the oceans from rising or heal the planet if I can't invest some of your money. Have you paid your fair share? I mean, I do have another vacation coming up. I thought so. You can expect a tax audit. As I've said before, we face economic ruin if we don't keep spending money we don't have.
You mean 1.2 billion for a pigeon coop restoration project isn't too much money?
Not enough is more like it. That would create 2.7 new jobs. Imagine how many jobs a billion more in funding would create. Don't you feel like royalty when you can live it up on the taxpayer's dime? Spend money on anything you want? I know Michelle and I do.
That's right. It's only money.
We've come too far to cut back spending now. We just have to ask the rich to pay their fair share. Unless they're Democratic Party donors, of course.
I feel so liberated.
Me too. Greed is good.
But only if it's government greed.
I'm going to make a shopping list of projects to help working families.
Yes, we can.
Don't forget non-working families.
Hope and change.
Or undocumented workers.
Fundamental transformation of America, here we come.
But you'll add trillions to the budget deficit.
We just have to spread the wealth around.
This is insane.
No. It's intoxicating.
We don't need you anymore.
Hey. They didn't pay me.
Be sure to join us next week for Congress is in session to see if the Federal Reserve can stop runaway inflation without causing another Great Depression. This has been your host, Sir Mortimer Silverton, and I'm moving to Chile, so I won't see you next week. Good night.